Hi everyone, I'm Chris with Grab Your World. We're doing a little segment for our portion of Grab Your Bike, which is a review of my bike that I've been using, Cannondale CX3. Now you'll be thinking CX standing for cyclocross, but no, this is not a cyclocross bike. This is more of a hybrid. I would say more on the mountain bike side than a road bike side. I just wanted to talk about my bike a little bit because what I found out about a year ago when I actually tried researching on this bike myself, I didn't find much reviews about this bike, and I thought maybe in the future it will help you out if you are considering on buying a bike completely new at biking as myself at the time, since I didn't know much about bikes. I first got this bike a year ago, and I probably have by now about 2,000 miles on it, so I'm based in my thoughts and experiences. I first rode when I was about 10, and then last year I was 31 years old and I just started getting into it. I'll first go into a little bit about the history on my bike and why I got it at first. Then I'll go a little bit of function features that I found that's interesting about it. And then I will talk about my final thoughts on it and the uses you can have with this thing, history of the bike. Okay, so when I first got this bike, I was trying to find a bike that would suit my purposes, because that's what you really want in a bike that's going to suit your purposes. There's different types of bikes out there. There's hybrid, road bikes, mountain bike, and even in those categories, there's gravel bikes, cross-country bikes, cyclocross bikes. It's insane on how much different types of bikes are out there. But for me, for myself, I really just wanted a bicycle that I could commute with. And so what I wanted in a bike is one that can handle different types of terrain, because I knew that I'll be going on the beach path where I'll be traveling the most on. So I needed something that can handle some sand patches, slippery road conditions if it starts raining. And then as well, I wanted a bike that can handle really rugged road conditions, because there are cracked up roads where I work at, and a lot of cars will just not stop for you. So I wanted something nimble that I can just completely have a stop on a dime on, which is why I got this hydraulic brakes, which I'll talk about later. And now that I got a little bit about the history of why I got the bike, I'm gonna go a little bit over the features of the bike. I've looked up into the 2018 edition for the Cannondale CX3, and I don't think much has changed. Even throughout the past few years, it might have not changed. Cannondale's really known for some surprising new changes, so we'll see what happens. Comment below if it's 5 or 10 years from now, see what's changed. Anyways, I'll go a little bit over the features that I've noticed about it. First of all, I really got this thing at the beginning because I needed something that's nimble and has a lot of stopping power, which got me when I saw the disc brakes on it. They were hydraulic disc brakes, and I really enjoyed using the hydraulic disc brakes. I'll go over into it a little more later, but these things have saved my life plenty of times as I'm able to stop on a dime. The tires, it came with the Panaracer Comet 38C. I have changed them out. I actually go from changing them out all the time because the Comet is pretty much good for both road and mountain conditions. But as I was going into more intermediate route, single track riding, I wanted something with a little bit more treads on it and a little fatter. So I went with the WTB Nano, which are 40C, just about two sizes up. I've tried other sizes, which was the 1.1. It was another WTB model, but I can't remember which tire, but it didn't have enough clearance. 1.1 wasn't enough, so I think it would go up to 42. If you have tried it yourself with a CX3, I would love to know its limits, because I've tried it only up to 40 right now, but I do see there's a little bit more clearance on the tires, and probably could go another 2 sizes up. I haven't tried a 42C though. I enjoyed using the Comet Panaracers for like different types of conditions, but it wasn't really meant for mountain bike riding, which is something a hybrid is more for just everything in general. That bike was just more for everything in general. People have used the Comet Racer I've seen online and did my little research myself, but they have like mixed feelings about it as well. And maybe it's just my own limitations, but I changed them out for these guys, like I mentioned, because I just needed a little bit more tread on them with the Nano. Another great thing about this thing is it comes with the rear racks, which I've already installed a pannier rack on. I've used this thing for commuting where I can put a pannier on it. And I used also this thing for bike packing, which was really useful. I can put my whole camping setup on it. You can carry a big load with using the rear racks. I think you can have these are adjustable towards other types of attachments. I don't know any other type of attachments like pannier rack, but it is pannier rack accessible. Another thing I want to mention is the fork it has here, or the suspension, organ suspension. It's using the Suntours NCX has a 50 millimeter travel. This has been very useful, especially going over some small mountain bike terrains. I've used this successfully really good on fire roads, as well as single tracks. Well, not too well on single tracks, I would say, and intermediate ones are very hardcore. I guess I would say my skill level hasn't been to that level where it can withstand it, but it has its uses on those kind of roads, and especially like on broken asphalt roads, which I've used it on as well. It has this lockout feature, which you can lock it and unlock it. I lock it usually when I'm on flat surfaces, like along the beach path, where it's just a bike path going, stretching for 20 miles straight, non-stop. So I put the lockout feature on that. As soon as I get on the urban roads where there's traffic lights and broken roads and stuff, I unlock the suspension and I have that smooth ride. You're not getting hit with the saddle that much over there, so it literally saves my ass a lot. Now that I've gone over a little bit of the features that I found useful about the bike, I'll talk about the uses I've had with this bike and my final thoughts. The uses I've had with this bike, it really ranges from everything. I've used this for road biking, just for commuting on long stretches of bike path. It is a hybrid. Just keep in mind it's a hybrid. It won't be the fastest thing on the road. I always love racing those people with road bikes, and they hate me beating them. As soon as they see this flat handlebar, they just have to beat me, which I respect them for, because it pushes me as well. So it's not going to be the fastest bike, but it is going to be a really good commuter bike. I first wanted something that I can experience, because I was a completely beginner at first, and this came out very, very handy because I finally got my thoughts together, or had the ideas seeing other bicyclists on the road as well. Like, I can see how road bikes will outperform me in speed. I can see other mountain bikers with their rear suspension, longer front suspension, how useful they are on really, really technical terrains. And so it came out really useful as a beginner, because I didn't know where I was going towards anyways. And now I have an idea after a year of use. I've taken this thing about every kind of aspect of biking. So I've also taken this like on hills, I've taken this mountain biking, I've taken this commuting. If you see one of my videos before, I've taken this thing on Catalina, which was really useful. And actually, the one that made it really useful is these rear racks, and as well as the suspension. I tried my friend's bike who didn't have a suspension, and on those really rugged terrains, you really have to use your arms to balance out the beating of the bike. I'm actually using this thing because it's such a durable and sturdy beast, and I just want to train on using this even more. So I'm pretty much using this as my hardtail mountain bike on more technical terrains. I went over the bars a couple of times. I mean, once on an intermediate route in Palos Verdes. That was fun. Anyone starting into it, to try out a hybrid, it is a good commuter. I've seen so many bad things people talk about the bike, like it's complete trash, but no, it's actually really useful. I don't plan on letting go of this bike for a long time since I see its many uses. That's my review of this Cannondale CX3 2017. If you have any questions, comment below. Call us, text us. Do we have our number on the site? No? Okay. That might be within good reason. Okay, see you later.
Nice.
So now that I've gotten over a little bit the